I told you guys we were going to have a wonderful day bridging that connection. I finally got the PDF, but OpenVic, so I finally have that. But I wanted everybody to understand. I think, what was the title I gave it? I think I called Bridging the Connection, where it went out in the news. Some of you got the news announced. I think I called it Bridging the Connection because Meredith and I have been talking about this for some time, about trying to get, because, American audience, see, Robert, they're different. And, it could be a little, and part of it is that they have so much to choose from. And getting them to take a moment to really sit and look outside their own boundaries and if anything has been a challenge.
That's right.
Now, I told you all in the monologue segment a lot. I gave you a lot about Robert's bio. But I wanted you to understand, Meredith, and I wanted to ask Meredith, we talked about bringing to you, our audience, the kind of producers that we thought had the skill set, the demonstrated body of works that our audience would appreciate. So, Robert, thank you for being...
Thank you.
You are our bridge, Robert.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All that today I was coming by.
Yeah?
No, you're the bridge.
Thank you very much.
And so tell us a little bit about yourself, Robert, in your own words, because there's a lot of stuff here.
That's right.
Pages. Thank you, Meredith.
Sorry for boring you with all that much information. I'm first of all, I'm a music lover. I love music very much, and it's an inheritance really from my father, who never got a chance to take it further than I did. And I ended up in Kenya after fleeing war in my country of Burundi. So I was pretty much a refugee in Kenya as a young boy, as in the early teenage years of my life, and ended up fleeing to a country by myself, alone, and stayed for 8 years without news of my family.
Wow.
And but in that time, I was able to grow my musical gift, and including starting to write songs and producing songs eventually. And so I've been doing this for the last almost 18 years now in Kenya.
I gotta ask you, but that under those circumstances, it is interesting when you ask people always to me how they define themselves. He started as a musician.
Yeah.
I'll remind everyone of that. Mm-hmm. And then a refugee. But so interesting. So how does one take the form of investigating music? I mean, what is the concrete? How did you do that, Robert? I mean, you was like sitting around. How did you even access? You know what I'm saying? What makes you even go to songwriting at that moment, and how did you approach those very early moments of your songwriting?
When you go through pain, it has to find a way out. So you have to find an expression of that pain, and try to explore the meaning. Sometimes it's difficult to talk about it or to in any other way. So for me, songs were the best way I could express myself, and this seems to be the MO for us folks. We seem to express ourselves musically in all our struggle and pain. So it's not, again, as we talk about the bridge, it's not just here. So it's happening back at home as well. We're still expressing the same way because we are the same, and this is through that time, because I'll tell you, I was in a refugee camp, and in a refugee camp there's nothing to do. So you wake up, you sit the whole day, you go, the night falls, you sleep, you wake up the next day, no hope, no nothing. That's all you do. So now in that moment, I found something to do. through writing songs and music.
On paper, how were you writing them? How were you?
You have paper.
Singing to yourself.
You have access to paper. Yes, you get. You have a pen, so you can write. But this is how I used to do it. It was a remote area of Kenya, very remote. So remote that for the first time I saw people who walk naked, not dressed. Others who wear skins. It's a place called Turkana.
Okay.
So Turkana people is a very remote tribe in northern Kenya that still live. They're really ancient and they've kept their traditions. Yeah, so there was a little hill that I used to go up. I would wake up in the morning, pick a guitar, and walk there. A friend of mine had a guitar, so I would borrow and go sit up on top of that hill and sing myself, sing aloud, man, sing to the world. I guess it was beautiful. Actually, for me, it's a place of pain because it was a desert and you're sleeping in the sand and all this. But when I sat on that hill and the guitar and started singing, I was not there. I was somewhere else. It was beautiful.
So you had a guitar.
It was a beautiful place to be on top of that hill and the guitar and the song. It was beautiful.
You taught yourself to play?
I taught myself to play.
So beautiful. I'm always wondering, because like how people approach music and what it feels like. To me, it always has felt like creation and some kind of connection. There's a metaphysical.
It's sometimes beyond.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to be in that kind of place, even with the things you were going through. Wow. So the early beginning. So then what, Robert? Then what?
Then, time came. I decided I had had enough of the refugee camp, so I left. Went to the city of Nairobi. So in Nairobi,
You just walked.
I'd had enough. I woke up. I said, I ain't gonna die here. No, there's nothing to do.
How old?
I'm so young. I was 17. I said, no, I had been in the refugee camp for 3 years. I said, no, this is not it. I'm not going to die here. So I got up. I talked to one of the drivers who used to drive these trucks that used to bring food, rations for refugees. I said, man, give me a lift, man. He said, let's go. So we went. So I was back in Nairobi. And in Nairobi, I got hooked up with a church. And in that church now, I was able to advance the music because now they had equipment and all this stuff.
So when you got to Nairobi, where were you staying?
Man, in the streets.
Some people have some unimaginable journeys considering the difference in the struggle here. Or, the kind of things that people would find difficult are nowhere near often.
And that's why I love to expose that to our audience, and sometimes because I know they take it for granted, we notice how Robert is so humble. If I didn't dig at some of this stuff, that's not what he was going. But I just think it's so wonderful to understand because so many people, Robert, think that success is just supposed to go boom, happen. They don't know about the hard work and the hard times it takes to grow.
And the determination.
The determination required to get to where
there's another point, addressing the notion of refugee, because that word also is a loaded word.
Right.
And if you examine it, what you'll find is most places around the world, the refugee are a higher skilled segment of the population. They're the people who could leave first.
Actually.
Right.
So in many of these countries in Southeast Asia and South America and Africa, where trouble starts, hostilities, whatever it is, the people who have the resources and intellect and capacity to go, those are usually that first wave. And so in some of the peace proposals I've seen at the United Nations are looking at don't lose the treasure of all the talent that's in that refugee population, because here the news media tends to almost demonize that class or that word, refugee. And often they are the people who are the doctors, the scientists, the educators from various countries who are leaving first.
So the journey continues.
The journey continues.
He's in Nairobi.
So who'd you hook up with?
I'm in Nairobi. So after a couple of days of sleeping in the street, so I got bold enough to tell somebody in the church. They said, no, you can come live with me. And he happened to be a musician himself, so he was doing music in the church as well. So I ended up really getting into the music ministry of the church. So I was doing all sorts of things really, and eventually I formed a group of my own. And because I had written all these songs in the refugee camp, and I needed to make music, and I realized that I needed people to bring it out. So I formed a gospel music group, or a Christian music group. It's not gospel, because I know gospel means a different thing for Americans. For us, it means something else. So it just all Christian music is called gospel for us. But for Americans, I know it's specific. It's specific. Yeah. So I formed a Christian group. So we started singing, and amazingly, our first single was a nationwide hit.
Wow.
Our first single. I
gotta give you some clap. Wow.
And it changed everything. Wow. And it changed everything because Christian music was not playing on mainstream radio. So it was the first to play on mainstream radio.
Your first
hit.
First track was a hit of a Christian track.
Yes.
Previously,
never played on mainstream radio. Never. In fact, it was the first Christian song to even play in clubs and everywhere. Because the way I approached music was, I enjoyed dancing as I was young. I really loved dancing. So I was like, why can't Christian music be this fun? What's wrong? Does it have to be hymns and la la? I said, no. So I said, I will keep the message, but I'll change the beat.
Yes.
So that's all I did.
Yes.
And for Kenya is supposedly 80% Christian. So there many people would identify with the message. But many people don't go to church, but they love this kind of beats. So it was a good connection to the point that he played more in the clubs than he played in the church. So and it started a wave from there. It was a long wave. I must say, in Kenya is the only country where Christian music is on top of any other music.
Wow.
The only country in the world.
Wow.
And it started with that wave.
Wow.
Yes. It was a big wave. Yes.
Now I know why Meredith brought you here. Because that was gonna be the
life is serious.
Yeah,
life is serious. Now, how I met Robert, when I first went over there for my project with the Gates Foundation to help the media, and in the process of doing that, I was exposed to some of the other entertainment conferences and things that were going on, and that was the Broadcast Film Music Africa. I was speaking at their technical things, and after several a few years doing that, I mentioned one year why they had music in the name if they had no sessions on music, no groups playing, nothing about music. Why is music in the name? Either do something or take it out. And that's when they engaged me that year to put in a music conference. So when I was looking to say, okay, let me put together who knows about the music industry here, and somebody mentioned his name. It's like, hey, one of my friends who was a TV producer, he said, hey, you should talk to this guy named RK. So I talked to RK, and he said, okay, here's who knows what in Kenya. And he connected me with at that time it was Nameless, which was popular hip hop artist. So we did a session on production and a session on distribution. And so I had RK on as talking about management and production, because he also managed and produced a number of artists. And then I had Nameless on as an artist, and we had a couple of other record company executives. Skyped in Ernie Singleton, Skyped in Lynn Jeter. So we had a ball in this global, and it's the first time they've had an entertainment conference on music like that.
Yeah.
Anywhere in East Africa.
I want to showcase some of the music, but we got to make some kind of a transitional jump. So we got to hear about that interim period. I mean, I can't just go from this to the tracks. I gotta, but you gotta take us through the journey.
All right.
Of how you came from the church to end up in 2008 as the International Young Music Entrepreneur Award winner, Robert. You got to tell us how you got from that point.
That's right. So, at one point,
the hit song, by the way. I'm sure that changes everything.
Oh, it did change. My life changed. My life changed.
Changes right there. Right?
I was not trying to be a producer. I was just trying to make a song.
Right.
I was not trying to be a producer. At the time I didn't even know what being a producer was. I didn't know what that was. I was just trying to make a song. That's all. So when the song started playing on radio and it became a hit, so everybody kept asking, who did this? Who did this? Who did this? So many people. First it was Christian artists who were coming to me. So at one point I was producing at least 60% of all Christian music that was playing in the region. Not just Kenya now. So about 60% of that. And other artists started telling me, do you produce just Christians? I said, no, I produce whoever comes. It's just the other ones coming. So other artists started coming because now the sound I had created was influencing all music. Not just Christian music. It was influencing all music.
Wow.
So now all these artists now started coming to me. That's how I made the artist is talking about Nameless and Wahoo and all these other artists they started coming to me. I said, I don't have a problem. Come, let me hear your song. Let's see what we can do with it. So we did and won many awards at the time. At one point, really, it was the sound. Even what we have now is I would say versions of this sound. So it became so big that in 2008 there was this International Young Music Entrepreneur Award that was going on in the UK, and a program called Young Creative Economy. So this included music, film, and fashion, and writing, like books and stuff like that. So, and there were 80 countries that participated. So I was chosen to represent Kenya and the entire East Africa. That's which is about 5 countries. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Yes.
Thank you very much. So when we went there, we went through a process for 2 weeks. There were all these big shots in the creative economy in the UK and the European Union. And eventually for music, we were shortlisted to 10 countries, of which I still made the 10. So I was still part of the 10. So now these 10, we had to face a panel of judges from all music facets, all the facets of the music industry. It be law, it be recording industry, management, live events, and all this stuff, together now with the British government. So we faced this panel for about 4 days. We went through interviews and that, and on the last day, so we had the wife of Tony Blair, the former British Prime Minister.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so she was the guest honor to come and hand in the award. So yeah, on that day, my name was called out as the winner.
There it is. Take a look at the picture too. We got it up there.
So that's how I got that's the journey to 2008. By then, I had done a lot of work. I was obsessed with this work as well because, I was producing at least 10 albums, record albums a year. So yeah, those are some of the artists as you're looking at. That's Nameless winning the MTV award. We won that for Listener's Choice Award for the song we had written with him. That's MTV. So We even Wahoo won MTV as well. We won that in Nigeria in 2009. So yeah, this is the journey. So a lot of artists came.
Abida.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
something, huh?
You know what? Stay focused. Stay focused, man. Stay focused, man.
That's how I saw her. Focus.
Yes, focus.
Focus.
Yes, focus.
I guess that self-imposed.
It's a bunch of. Well, Meredith said, I'm going to scroll just so people can look for a minute and just to see the variety of folks and the photos here representing. Wow. And then we're going to play something, I guess.
Sure, we can play some of them. Yeah.
I'm just looking at it for a minute now. Just taking it all in. Juliana.
Those beautiful
Kanye
sisters
Mosley.
right there, huh?
Yeah.
She's the biggest artist in Uganda, female artist in Uganda, and an icon, really, in East African music.
Dancehall Queens.
Yeah, that's right.
Look at that, y'all. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty beautiful sisters right there. Bobby Wines, aka Ghetto President. This artist Bobby Wine, one of the songs we did was banned from radio stations because it was critical of the government. The following day, 10,000 people went to the streets to ask the radio stations to play his music.
Wow.
So they called him Ghetto President.
Take a look, Bobby Wine.
They called him Ghetto President. So, but now he's friends with the president. The president realized, I can't mess up with this guy. Yeah, but he's doing some pretty good things also for the community. He's helped bring lights, electricity to his village and in the village, surrounding villages and all that. He's doing pretty good stuff for the community.
Alicios.
That's right.
She's
Something, huh?
You know what? You can tell when he's stuck. 'Cause he ain't saying anything. So all of a sudden, you also love women now, don't you? Okay, I got you.
Susan Owio has performed for the Nobel Peace Prize giving and has done the Nelson Mandela AIDS concert. She's also one of the biggest artists. She performed for Obama when he came to Kenya first as a senator.
Really representative of Kenyan music.
Very representative
For many years.
Yeah. These are young stars coming up, doing pretty well as well. She is Jemima. She's the queen of mature Christian music. She's like Shirley Caesar. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Esther is having a concert actually this coming weekend with Ron Kenoli from here. Those who might know Ron Kenoli. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He'll be in Nairobi. Sauti Sol, the new sensation in town right now. Really, really, really big. They were nominated for BET Awards as well. They were here the other day. They got Obama to really dance to their traditional dance called Lipala dance. Last year in July. Man, he really loved them. He really, really loved them.
So now, what do we?
We can start with them.
We can start with them.
They have a song called Gentleman together with the other group. It's called. So if you look for if Sauti Soul. You can click that. I think that's it. Or the next one. Let's see.
Let me do it this way. I remember, sometimes we have to get to the commercials.
The people that make a lot of money.
Do you love me, baby?
That's not the song, but this one is fine too.
Kuna watu waina nyingi duniani, kuna watu fani na kabla sijatamba kwenye fani, sikuishi na amani. Nilikesha na maombi, nikiomba Mungu anipe nafasi, nikaanza kuimba, mabinti wanisaka, kuna kule wanichangamkia yeye. Ayo, heri ulie kwenye Range Rover, ama ucheke kwenye boda boda, ukose usingizi runda, masaibu yanakupata.
Yeah, they also feel like inspired by that. Yeah. So this guy mentioned that.
Do you believe in expensive cars? Do you wanna play with my heart? Do you believe in love or money plus love? Ooh. Remember the promise at the altar, that you're gonna love me for sure. Unconditional loving, for rich and for poor.
They are fashion for
Jana inapendeza, pesa inaua. Oh, itakumaliza, pesa ni maua. Oh, jana inapendeza, pesa inaua. Oh, itakumaliza. Heri ulie kwenye Range Rover, ama ucheke kwenye boda boda, ukose usingizi runda, masaibu.
That's the Lipola dance the Baba was dancing to.
Yeah. That's right, we're visiting, those of you just tuning in, with Robert Kamanzi, better known as RK, accomplished producer, songwriter, entrepreneur, guitarist, so many things. Champion of music development in Kenya. Yes. Wow, that was nice.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
The next one will be good. This one. Yeah. Very good.
Here comes the
Gentleman. The song is called.
Let's see how. Once again, gotta get it. We're spinning YouTube live as we do here. And again, visiting with our guests. Here we go.
gentleman. Healthy na kunywa get my vitamins. Mgenge sipenda get my vitamin. Don't go fresh. Napiga shower na dunge meresh. Most bugasi na get trash. Ata my skin tone high na get raw. Shit, I like your mini skirt. Relax, sippin' that get my shortcut. The more nakana mimi, the more naku hit. Uko set, uko fresh. Kaspel kako ko kampo wana mo ed. Mademu wangu si wachapi sweep. Milk chase now zip. Chekini nimefunga zip. Wenyambie sinani. Anakujaga na nani kwa nani. Nasikiaga na mpiaga nini kwa nini. Leo wewe umedunga kamini bila nini. Usiulize nini, usiulize minini. I'm a gentleman, you say yeah. Nipate baby kwenye bar. Uliza shorty what you drinking. You know you're rolling with a gentleman. Now uliza utapewa nini. Nipate baby kwenye bar. Uliza shorty what you drinking. What you drinking, shorty? You know you're rolling with a gentleman. Now uliza utapewa nini. Hey yo, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Flash of the gentleman, madam wananipenda. Oh yeah, I'm a ladies man. Always niko kazi, so yeah, I'm a businessman. Wananitaka Flash of the Superman. Ni watoto niko nao, niwe Superman. Nikiwa kwenye bar, venye miuka, venye miuva, ay swaga balam. Baby unakunywa nini? Pe unachotaka kwani iko nini? Pose, si ati na kukatia. Baniki kupata siwezi mind pia. Baby unakunywa nini? Pe unachotaka kwani iko nini? Pose, si ati na kukatia. Baniki kupata siwezi mind pia.
I thought I saw her last week on it.
I think if you are on YouTube,
in your lifetime, girl, give it chance. Yes, only chance ya kuroll na a gentleman. Come close, mami tupate dance. Yes, baby doll, mini wako all night. I keep my swag right, all white. Na leo nina date na Snow White, rare kind, born eye. Ladies go mental, smiles all dental. We getting sentimental, katempo kako gentle. Mini yule, tango shule. Pata notice sasa baby come tule. Mini yule, tango shule. Pata notice sasa baby come tule. Hey.
Nipate baby kwenye bar. Uliza shorty what you drinking.
Yeah. Bridging that connection.
Yeah, we all the same.
Oh, you guys.
you like the same things.
Some things
are universal.
Oh, my goodness.
Except the Green LA Caps.
You see the guys who do that? It's really in Nairobi. The connection.
You know you're rolling with a gentleman. I got you, baby. I got you.
Wow, that's nice. Yeah, give it up, everybody. All right. Yeah.
That was it.
So now, wow, first give them a minute to recover. I always tell you guys to dress appropriately when you watch this show. The future.
The future. So much is happening actually in terms of we have a lot of American artists coming to Africa. In the last 6 months alone, we've had Chris Brown, we had Trey Songz, we've had B.O.B. Coming to Nairobi. We've had also Tiny Temper from the UK, who is right now a really big hip hop artist from the UK, coming. And what's going on is that when they come home, they're doing a lot of collaborations. Neo too was here was in Nairobi early in the year. So, and he did a number of songs with different artists with some of my artists as well. So we are seeing this happening.
First time.
Yeah, it's happening, and on a scale that shows that there's something going on, and what we'll be hearing in the near future might be a mix of both worlds, and you already have artists like from Nigeria, like Wizkid, who already has featured on Drake's song, One Dance, which is a big hit.
Right.
Which is a big hit, and he's also done a song with Tinashe. You have Davido, also from Nigeria, who's done a collabo song with Tinashe as well, and Akon, Wycliffe, they've all done collaborations with artists from the continent, and this is starting to happen. Also, not only just that, we are seeing music collaborations from the different parts of Africa. So the East is collaborating with the West, the West is collaborating with the South. So it's for the first time. This never used to happen. It used to be regions doing music for their regions like that. Now we are fusing, becoming one continent musically. And part of the thing that I was advocating for, even during the music entrepreneur award, was that Africa did not have to have these boundaries. They did not need to keep each other out. Right. They need to open this their borders so that they can trade with each other, because we are the same in very many ways. So and my mission was to do that with music. So I started initiating collaborations with artists from different regions, intentionally. And I started with East Africa. And right now, East Africa has become one economic bloc.
All right.
So it's happening. So I said, because it looks like if you go the political way, it's too rigid, and it does not get to the people. The leaders will decide, but the people don't understand the implications. But if we do it musically and soften the minds of the people, show the people how similar we are, then the politicians will have an easier way to convince their people that these borders need to be open, and it's working.
There was a seed planted many years ago with Soul to Soul, the fight.
Okay.
When Wilson Pickett, James Brown, Aretha Franklin, so they went over there with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And, the influence of those musicians on African musicians at the time, because again, they're looking at us, Black Americans, we're James Brown. I mean, that's the king.
Right.
So after their presence, you started to see other more of the influences of their music in the music of Africans, and then also a budding industry.
That's right.
But we had that opportunity again.
Yes.
Of creating this framework where we have the power of superstar mega artists.
Yes.
That have attention and resources, and on the African side, there's the resources.
Yes.
If structured well, there's this bridge that can happen that would magnify, because again, everything we touch, we take over. Whether we're talking about tennis, golf, TV, movie, whatever it is, they let us in. We have a good time.
I'm glad you talked about the infrastructure. So one of the other side of me is that I'm involved in policy work, where I've been involved in setting up the infrastructure for music businesses to grow, in terms of influencing the laws, especially copyright laws, where we would have a space where investors can say, I can invest my money in the music business in this country and I will see returns. The issue with many countries in Africa is that corporate laws are not there, are non-existent, and where they are existing are not enforced. So an investor cannot put their money there because there's piracy, there's all sorts of ways you can lose money in the music business. So together with others, I was part of now the people who pushed forward the implementation of some of the laws that existed and the creation of the new laws that didn't exist. So I am right now the chairman of the Performers' Rights Society of Kenya, which is like ASCAP. Mm-hmm. So and what we've done is to go influence the law. Many laws now have been passed. Now we have an infrastructure. Artists can actually get royalties for their music airplay. We managed to get all radio stations paying royalties back in home. The hotels, restaurants, taxi cabs, all of them they pay. So if you play music in your car, because it's a public vehicle in this case, because you carry people, it's a commercial vehicle, so you pay a license, an annual license for music, of which now these writers and the rights owners get to benefit from their work. That's what we do. In fact, the biggest one we've just secured. We had been at war with the telecommunications companies because they use a lot of music and they never used to pay. So we were.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, we were at war with them for 4 years, in court and out of court, and eventually we secured a $2 million royalty payout.
Wow.
So to artists
everybody.
in Kenya.
Because it's so important.
When I first got there, I got in a taxi. I was like, what is this sticker here? It's like, music, Kenya Music Copyright Association, Society of Kenya.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this sticker for? Oh, for the radio. I said, are you serious? You guys are actually paying to play,
yes,
play this music?
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen here, by the way.
Which is sad, because...
But you're right. I mean, it's so important on a continental scale. The African Union has recognized the creative economy as the fastest growing segment of many countries' economies, and looking to see what needs to happen so that in the same way that Sony and Disney and Time Warner are pumping into the American GDP, what needs to happen so that African countries can start to take advantage of the reservoir of talent that they have, and what legislative things need to put in place, what policy and regulatory things. So again, he and there's a few other. He's also with the Kenya Association of Music Producers.
Music producers as well.
So they have a few groups that are starting to come up, and then I've been working with the Deputy President's office on some educational initiatives around how, it's one thing having copyright, but the artist understanding what the rules are and all that, which. Happened over here for a long time anyway. And even Mario,
exactly.
He has start your own record label manual. Yeah. Basically.
That's right.
So you remember the days of trying to teach artists, hey, there's some rules and you got some rights and there's some things you can take advantage of if you study and pay attention.
Yes.
Once again, groundbreaking. I want to thank Meredith Beale, Lasting Value, for introducing us to Robert. Everybody give it up for our guests.
Thank you. Asante
Robert Kamanzi.
Asante
sana. Where do we want to send them, you guys, to go look for more? Robert, you have so much.
Music?
I mean, where do you want to? Where should I tell our?
The thing is that all these artists have their own websites.
So how about your Facebook
page?
Yeah. So one of the thing with the structure back at home is we do not have quite a record label in the sense that you guys do it here. So artists still remain sort of halfway independent. They have some freedoms of where they push their own stuff, which is good for them, because then they get to earn more money if they do some things for themselves, and they have a lot of time to do it, and that is a bit of a challenge. But if you want to see some of the works I've done, you can go to YouTube. The channel is Maramoja Films. Mara Moja Films. It means MARAFILMZ Films. Mara Moja Films. That's the channel. That's the YouTube channel. You'll find some of the works.
Do you have a
you
Facebook
can follow
page?
me. Yeah, I have a Facebook page.
And we'll be tagging the videos. We'll get all this from Robert. And we'll be tagging the videos too, so those of you who see this video will be able to get that information.
Exactly. So a lot of it now we will hook up the station here, the channel, so that you can be able to get all the links.
I should have known.
Yeah, and we can do some more things, like maybe when you're doing a session, we can tap in.
Yeah.
You know.
Robert, I get the feeling that we will probably be interacting more in the future.
That's right.
And seeking to support your efforts with everything that we can do on this side.
That's
Yeah,
the
now
bridge
like
right now. It's supposed to remain connected. That's the point of the bridge.
So it's 10 p.m. in Nairobi, for example. It's 10 o'clock in Nairobi. So sometimes when they might be doing some recording or something like that, it can coincide with
there you go.
broadcast, and we can just chime in for 15, 20 minutes.
I know I liked what I saw. Everybody, we'll bring you a little bit. Everybody, give it up for our guest once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.